Tridhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, source of the 84,000 categories of the teaching, and Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Idams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Choje pongpo dongzha jeje zayen jone pabe gente tang jeje ngada nyatenje zawa tang ju pare jewe parande lama tangpa nangla jiao zhen je wo ye tang jing ko le je la zo nang la jiao zhen je wo sang je jum den de nang la jiao zhen je wo tang bie zhu nang la jiao zhen je pa bie gen de nang la jiao zhen je wo ba gan du zhi zhong zong me so yi xie jie jian dan den ba nang la jiao zhen je wo.
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Changjo nyingbo jeje wo sangje nong la jiao zhen jie chu dai changjo samba ye to lai de yin jiao zhen jie jie dai mu jie de jie jie changjo to ne jie ba dang Changjo senpe la ba la te dai ren yin ne ba dai te yin do la pen dong de Changjo sem ne jie jie shen te yin do ne la ba la ren ba yin de la ba re jie wo.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Sanje choda zoje chonang lai chanje parada dane jobsen chen da ge jen soi jen bie sonam jen do la pen je sanje do ba sho.
May all other sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Ma Nanga Dai Nyambe Samjen Tamje Dewa Dai Devi Judan Dembar Churche Dongara Dai Dongara Ge Judan Devar Churche Dongara mi be dewa dai men dewa jurje enyere jadai ni dai jive danyong lai ne bar jurje.
Refuge of all sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras together with their hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exemption exactly as they are, transcendent conqueror, together with your disciples, please come here to this place.
Bendara Samanta Male Samje Gunje Gonjora Je Dode Bonje Mezen Jumze Lo Una Male Jigin Jenjora Be Jumden Kuraje Nendere Yesu So Hargan Bade Bube Dub Aloy gengende nive de shabda bardi zaso.
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers, is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate.
Nanda Shindu Jubar Shui Changzi Wadan Chujin Yaba Tong Jesa Yarai Guyen Surwa Ye Gewa Jungzi Dage Jeza Ba Tam Je Zobe Changju Jembo.
Okay, now jump to page 11. Namo, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the 3 realms. Please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the 5 wisdoms of omniscience. Gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. Transcendent conqueror, the one thus gone, foe destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men, I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya king. At the time of your birth, leader of two-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth you proclaim, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise even then, I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain. The one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon, to you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one such as you among the 3 levels of existence is most exquisite. Unparalleled, omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Shravasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone. The pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth, to the pacifying Dharma I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation. Thoroughly respectful of the 3 higher trainings, they are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha I also prostrate. Okay, and then flip back to page 9.
Namo Nangze Namda Ge Lama La Nangze Yergen Se Joba Bu Gangzong Yongzhe De Zorwa De Korwa Tongzhou Se Jianje Lo Ji Yi Jian Norba Zoge Jian Ma Sang Jumi Jian To An Qian Bi Yi Jian Nga Dan Den Zhe Wei Dan Ni Ga Zhi Jian An Zhou Wa Jun Zi Ren Bu Qi Da Sim Ni Jian Ang Ne Zor Wa De Chun Ni Jian Ang De Jian Jie Lo Sim Do Ne Jian Mi Nam Dan De Lon De Ju Ge Do Ba Re Jian Jie Lo Zhong Den De Di Jin Yi Wa Da Zhong Ba Yang Da Ba Re Zo Bei Sang Jie Ri Gua Dan Xian Sen Den Ba De Wei Yi Gua Ji Den Jian Ba Ji Wen De Wa Ga Lo Jiu Wa La Na Me Ba La Da Me Nam Jie Dong Ba Nian Mi Xiao Ji Jia Bo Xiao Jie De Zhen Ma Me Ba La Hang Go Wo Ra De Do De Gu Wei Zhang Za Lu Gang Zhe Gang Nie Zuo Wo Jiu Dang Zhe Sa Jian De Lai Gong Bai Dun Wen Nga Ne Ji Den De Nan Chou Jie Zong Te Zhen Ke Ba Ji Lai Zhang Zhe Lo Nang Da Gong An Chou De Su Zong Wo Yi Jie Jiang Zu Se Jie Shen Bon Zhao Wan Ji Den Su Na Lang Ye Wang Gong Wo Xiao Ni Jia Jiang Zhe Lo An Chen Jiu Dian Ba Ti Mi Da Wei Xi Sen Do Zhao Wa Ji Lai Jiang Zhe Lo Nga De Jie Jiu Jie Se Ba Song Nan Zi Nian Min Chen Chen Ji Lai Jiang Zhe Lo Amen Jiu De Wa Ga Lu Jun Zi Jian Gun Jiu Ren Qing Wa Jun Zi Di Yin Ye Ang Bo Jie Dan Yi Yi Xian Lang Ke Nian Yu Xiu Ba De Lai Jiang Zhe Lo Angombo Tuje Jedembo Tamjin Jembe Dombo Asona Yonten Janzo Shin Tijin Yela Janzo Lo Taben Dojai Tiwi Ju Giwi Ngenson Le Dore Shin Gedo Tongdai Chojoro Wai Shijoro Chola Janzo Lo Atone Torve Lang Yang Dong La Ba Da La Ra De Gu Hei Shen Ga Tang Ba Yang Den Je Gen Du La Yang Jiang Za Lo.
And turn to page 15. I prostrate to the youthful Manjusri, to those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appeared during the 3 times, to all of them without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that I imagine the whole Dharmatatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sudatas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointments, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. With the finest cloths, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the Bodhisattvas, the Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together, those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. And to page 14.
Baba Jambar Shana Jurbala Chansa Lu Chenye Soda Chuchu Jeda No Tuzon Yeba Meye Sengeg Dage Malu Dai Tamje La Ludang Aye Tamye Chanje Asombo Juve Mola Doda Ke Jarwa Tamji Je Mozomant Hechenge Tunye Ludawa Duva Ye Jarwa Gunla Rabde Chancelo Duje Dena Dunye Sanje No Sanje Zeje Buna Yobada Tadai Juje Jena Malu Bai Tamje Jawa Dage Kawaramu Tadai ngaba meze janzo na yangje yangla janzo dagunje Jawai gunje yonde rabjo jen deware yewa damje dage do Nedo damba chungwa damba dan sinye damba chumbe donjot Amarme jodai dubo damba ye jawa tadai lane chubaji Naza damba namda jenjo dai chima burme rerai nyamba dam Angoba jeparan pabe jugun je jawa tada lane chubaji Gono alame jaje wa tada jawa tamje layam Asambo jolai tebe doda ke jarwa gunlai chanze chubaji Endo jai jedai demo wange ne le tang adai ti yin yi je jang Dewa da ge je wa jen je ba te da tam je da ge so so re ya cho je jar wa gun da ya san je se ran ja ra nam da lo da me lo da Ando gun je so na kan la ya de da gun je se da ye ra Kan na chu jun je dan do ma da chang jo ren ba ra san je ma ja ni Hang gong bo de da ge dam je la ko lo la na me ba go wa ge Hai nyang ya da dong gang ye de da la do wa gun la pian yin de we je Ge wa shen ge du ni xiu ba yang da ge de mo ra ja ra so wa je Chang de wa da chu jin ya ba da je se ye ra gun shen so wa ye Ai jung ze da ge je za ba tam je zo be chang jo chen bo ro
And to page 16. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Sam je nam je zomba dong Alo ye je dai je dao je join tu mo te bai ye Chu je ango lo go du zu
Yo thì lục lại là yo.
Okay,
Không số yo.
everyone here and online, thank you for resume. I guess this is sort of resume from the books and book we use many times, and now we even don't know exactly where we are, but I think we will find out.
Well, some people said we're on page 35, the 5th chapter, page 35.
Yeah,
Is that?
5th or 6th.
Okay.
Anyway, you can find out while I am here. Thank you to Rinpoche and Virginia and every Sangha here, letting me share these texts with, and also wonderful to practice with you here, Sangha, and also our center. And of course, I start with some sort of general teachings that always involve with motivation. And luckily we have Virginia is available today here. And
Whether it's lucky or not, I don't know. It might be better in your English, but whatever you prefer.
단들나 가서 주 희비 값서 아니 꿀렁서야 돼 개천보 이 말에 대인도 꿀렁라 삼바자체와 장축선지 꿀렁 탑자체와 상황아 꿀렁스네 꿀렁 남반인데
Sampaja Jimbo.
장축선지 꿀렁 탑자체와 상황아 꿀렁 남반인데 두다드 주년도의 날, 룹도의 날에, 전에 옵장치의 값이 날에, 관계값이 나, 꿀렁도 개천벌에, 꿀렁 세계가 정적 샘, 기하대 개천벌에.
First, just as, in any circumstance where we're engaging in some sort of Dharma activity, the motivation is very important. So the motivation is twofold. There is the vast intent, which is the motivation of bodhicitta, and the vast method, which is a secret mantra. So whether we're listening to the Dharma, practicing the Dharma, engaging in, studies, it's important that we generate a pure motivation.
전에 정축지 샘세야들 소르 남반이 소르세나다 들라 남반이 삼목고르고요레 가르스나 랑 타르비 콤본 토바탐지 마임바 타르비 콤본 토비야기 테 심지한 담지지도 인 삼바데 정축지 샘 세교레
And so bodhicitta has two aspects, or two kind of important, like literally corners, which is that, first we're not just thinking about ourselves, so our objective is not only our own liberation, but we're really our intention is directed towards all sentient beings. It is for the benefit of all sentient beings that we generate this mind of awakening.
탑자체와 상황아 주클랑체바데 당가서 남주이나 되는 걸와서야지 야고 많이 받지 인생거리나 탑자체와 상황아 주거네 되는 나와 담지사 작과 담지가 전릭 담지톡 선이 자리 구성토 임발라 임바삼 노동야데 달레드니 탑자체와 상황아지 그롱세거드네 주신칸 년칸 희약추 당 제바탐 제데 드니 탁바임바치 전국어를.
And then the second aspect being the motivation of secret mantra as vast method. Then normally we have this attitude or this perception that, samsara is negative, and it is something that we need to escape or reject. But in the pure intention of secret mantra, we practice having pure view, seeing all appearances to be the nature of the deity, hearing all sounds to be, and perceiving them as mantra, or having the nature of mantra, and all thoughts to be the enlightened awareness of the deities. And so in this way, all phenomena becomes the enlightened display of the body, speech, and mind of the victorious ones. So both the one who is teaching the Dharma and those who are listening should both abide within this pure perception.
tanda rang as nyamd nyamne chidu lokya nam nansi nam dak lama la nansi chigin su chobamber kamsom yondor zu zorwan den kurwatondur hinji laf son tene tan nansi tamchi yene takwa lamme ngo yimba ti yimba la yimbar hiba tal ngaso kap jirem sene sa jive kap so yimba la yimba jigore mato ma yimba jig yimbar soyo ma ste indu ta nansi tamchi te lamme ngo yimba tan timache nansi tamchi te hedever yikbinying bo rane sharwam hing yongwa indu deyang ta nansi tamchi chubi ge chort mbu choya tenrik gulong ki golares.
And so in the prayer that we always recite, which is, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer appearance and existence arising from within the ground, or arisen from within the ground. And so, first of all, here there's the recognition that all phenomena, the essence of all phenomena being the Lama, is that essence of all phenomena is that of primordial purity. And so it's actually a matter of recognizing things as they actually are, as they truly are, which is also the basis of the generation stage, that generating ourselves in the form of the deity is recognizing, that which is as it actually is, not actually creating something that wasn't there before, but actually uncovering how things actually are, or establishing what is as it truly is. And so all phenomena of, or all appearance and existence, being both the essence of the Lama and also the purity of our own true essence as the Tathagata Garbha, or the Buddha nature, then all the expressions or phenomena of appearance and existence, then we can have the motivation to offer this up as a great offering.
Tene ta kupa migyu kamsom yondur to zorwa nam kurwa tongdur hinji laf son. Tene hinlap zayade ake chenpo yimbari. Tene indu juba sayate hinlap gona tene juba. Teyang lama la tokwa tanga, teyang lami ki ta mugu konal tokyo indu. Tene jeji norbu tsoki jen masam jume kyarwe to chenbe ishi nga tan tsewe dangi kanji jen nrowa junze rinpo che son tan do na rong lama te dawun chense nu som ki dangi imba la imbar shibe kone tene zorwan dep tugi se tenre cheba ina tene tokwe ishi chebar chenji rong jul jen yung kore son ta jir son Kuzup chi lama sayaji, todam nonga lama sayaji.
Kunzop Chigi Lama?
Chi lama, chiruk lama, chi sina. Outer.
Dang.
Todam
Dang.
nanga lama. Teni, ndirwa chadego karisina. Kuzup chi lama saya, nga so chu hyusa, wang long chi, hyusa, rang. Ichi dang teba. Yusa tela, tene guzob chi lama, tada guzob lamdo tene roa miyamda, durna kanza chi ke nambala sharde gore. Tela sorwa ta tugi se tene chewa ina, tene todam nanga lama sene, ngone nanga lama, rangrik dewa chimbu yishe song. Tigi yishe de, tene nangane shar senanda, sheng senanda, tene tokbi yishe te. 미용가 그래서 다들 멤버리 샤위 치토 되는 라마라 소반데 봐 된데 정도와
And so then as we continue and we say, please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. And so, and then it continues on, Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, Gapar Bardu, go Ian?
Until last 4 lines.
Okay. Wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable and inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the 5 wisdoms of omniscience, gracious one, the embodiment of love, and so on. So here first then we're requesting the blessings, or supplicating, supplicating to receive the blessings of the lineage with devotion to the guru, who is like a wish-fulfilling jewel, with all of these, qualities here that are exemplifying the Buddha, or that are describing the Buddha. And so one's own Lama or guru, who has omniscience, love, and power, the 3 of, the omniscience, loving kindness, and power, then we supplicate, and through that supplication, then this also triggers kind of the recognition or the shining forth of the realization or primordial wisdom in one's own mind stream. So there is the outer Lama, the relative Lama, who is the outer manifestation, and the inner Lama, who is the Lama of the ultimate truth. And these two are related, they're connected, and that the one who is the external manifestation from whom we request or receive, Dharma, empowerment, transmissions, and teachings, who we rely upon and put our trust and faith in, is the relative Lama, who appears in the form of an individual. And when we supplicate, relying on the relative Lama, saying, please grant your blessings upon me, please look after me or hold me with compassion. And this creates the link or the connection between our own inner Lama, that is the great bliss of our own intrinsic awareness. And so then from within, it is through that supplication that then, as it says, abiding within, please grant me blessings from within the innate nature. So I supplicate you from within the essence of mind, please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. So there is then, it is through this supplication to the Lama that then also that nature can be activated or shine forth.
주소솜스 인지도 계좌시고는 뜻 깔리는 거 참. 빈데 야군도 때문에 인지도 지롱 시나. 근데 다다 못해서 야고 거걸 봐. 근데 대야군도 때문에 다 대시고야 좀 생각하잖아. 때는 가서 그 추시야 당한테는 가서 그분은 뭐지 주시야 처음한테 늘와요 그래서 직직이 로치 그래 맞더니 늘와면 봐 가가던데 말이 되는데 아주 남주 돈반동 되는 냠내치도 동대한테서 처음아 그런 배 개체 보였는데나 샤샤버 되는데 근데 소삼노 똥 때문에 냠내 제도 측지에 전전 생각서 보글룩소라 이 논반동 lokdewa ina tigi tsik kowa talatane rongalona hengalona te tsik ngani dönyandu tene yila tigi töndat chanyongro tene tsik je tönjan sata ina 논반동야 pe kechembare 논반동 sa dönyon je 갑갑라 고야라 배 소반소 대마도 메모보이지 되네 당다 양다 되는 제네 마도 매베선데 되네 말에 인도 인지 돌에 망치 측록 인도 말록되 거라 롱나래 되네 보이게 통의 측시제네 인도나 강다령 인도나 측지에 던전사도 개침벌 되인도 인도만도한테 개침벌에서
And so, with these Dharma teachings and, prior to this, Drupal Rinpoche was giving, his teachings or his explanations and on, the teachings that just came prior. And it isn't actually like these are like completely separate topics because, and what we read, for instance, what we read together in the prayers and so forth, it's all interrelated. And it's really important to, especially for instance, these prayers that we read every day, to think about the meaning. So it is said in the Tibetan that as you read the words of the verses, you should reflect on the meaning. So it's through reading the words that then there is reflection upon the meaning. So, when, for instance, there's, if we're reciting words, it's important to be conscious as we read the words so that then the meaning can kind of reveal itself or shine forth in the mind. And it doesn't, only have to be in the context of like, a big gathering where everybody is chanting together, like they, for instance, in Tibet, how they practice in the monasteries, but also, in English, as we read, even if it's not in verse and we're reading the prose, as we read, there's also the opportunity to really connect with the meaning or to read in a way that's really conscious of the meaning, which is very important.
추지 거의 샘 돈이 깨와매봐 넘버 타와임바 롤렌데바임바 다트 독야 코네기 치드레스 독과 이나 변도카려서나 근데 다 추남지 내로 모마트 독여봐 대용 카 발고네 시샤가 잠지 마임바 롱게 로 대추고 독거거래 샘 롱게 샘 돈이 깨와매 버티니 초크를 똑같아라 나한테는 갑갑스 차견도 족견 값스 스모 따서나 스모 희에서나 따와 똑바 줄리지 세야다 그래서더니 초만한테 너나 랑게 스미 되니 추지 거임바 똑바 텔레코고요레스타 또 서대용 lo ninzi da jibi kone hako wala kako tokse hako se tene hie se anawa
Lo nizin ki
hako watala kako tokse ro tokse
to like ta na or to
rata takta na tokase to chukur tokse no
also.
ane tene tartung dona musom도 toko gareta musom도 tokse ate tene 똑바 매비거네 남토 매비거네 근데 무슨 똑바거래 때도 손아 카르펜터였으나 근데 다른 거라서야 돼 ndurna temuk wang 중앙에 무스트로 매봐 근데 신에 하코네 되는 거르게 추 레도 뇽모 봐서야 돼서 다음에 되는 달도 성직 그 대형 그 솜지 당이 주고 롱고 truk somji dani ku somji dani yishi nge dani sana dan de nan do chenbe yishi nga se zebe dani se to so soma sonji ge yin den to so na de ne rang ju le che song yin na dong ar jun re dan che ba den cha to ba yong yo re te ma to
Jude.
dong ar jun re dan che ba den cha to bu re se They're not sure drop yak that make you moment then wrong sim to choke to ya. There is.
And so, as it says, so there's one more line to this section that Kimbola was reciting. So I supplicate you from within the essence of mind, please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. And so this is the ultimate goal, is to realize all of the Dharma that we practice is meant to bring us to this point of realizing mind's true nature, this primordial Dharmakaya that is beyond the intellect. The meaning of the Dharmakaya is it is this primordial essence that is completely pure, and this is all efforts, in Dharma practice are meant to bring us only to this single realization. So for instance, so chik china digging on my day chik lot not the chi sung rong. So once and in the context, for instance, of Dzogchen and Mahamudra, how we speak of recognizing the true nature of mind or realizing the view, and so the view is already present as the Dharmakaya, or the true essence of the mind itself, the essence of awareness. When there is the mind of dualistic grasping that understands, this is what we refer to as realization. Can be.
The talk in the Tibetan could be conceptually understanding the mind nature, when sometimes we call view. View is understanding or belief, to gain confidence in meaning, and then also talk as also this direct perception or directly realizing the Dharmakaya or mind nature also. So talk could be both, but the final realization should be direct realization, not the just conceptual understanding.
So there's this, Kimbo Rinpoche is making the distinction between these two. There's the conceptual realization and then the direct realization. And he said, so what then is the benefit, of this realization, this direct realization, that then that is what becomes the cause for what we refer to as samsara, which is just this confusion that comes about through being under the influence or the power of ignorance, but that actually doesn't really exist. And so the moment that lack of true existence or that confusion is uncovered, then the obscurations of karma and afflictive emotions are purified, and instead there is the recognition of the pure true nature, which is the embodiment or the self-nature of the three kayas, the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. awareness, perfected awareness that is endowed with all of the 5 wisdoms and kayas of Buddhahood, all of the enlightened qualities of Buddhahood. And and so then at that point, suffering together with karma, cause, and effect are liberated, or one is liberated from suffering and no longer bound by karma, cause, and effect. And likewise, and in brief, all of the Dharma that we practice is really meant to bring us to this realization of the true nature of phenomena, the true nature of awareness, or the dharmata, the true nature of one's own mind.
Thank you. I think maybe we can go this. Tene, da tene, so pecha jang senanda tene nge chushi senanda kinande nyanandri da jang se te so namju chu lobjong chi se garo da tere ma to ngochu ngoma de zokchen ngochu ngoma de so tene lama tokwa tang temba ki lama teba tang temba chi la nana tene mon chuju yo ba tang ton tok yo ba re ma to lama la tok bi yo den ti mar lomi ju la treju me bam do na bu ju me ba sa ma treju me ba tang loma la yo na te ba tang mo ge che ne lama la song jing wo gen du xie me ba yin na te ne ta ngon tu sa te ha yang gong bo re yin na ta nga so zok chen ge chu yin na re chak chen ge chu yin na re sabri sabse tam chi te yin ji to le jo re yo re te xie ge re xian da to le jo re yo re te yin de te ne su lo na ndege yo re te na gang go xi ne yo ma ra te me de te ne nge ge
Su log na kare?
na rong so yin ji xi nge ge su lo na te su ge nyo na ndeg do te yin de nga rong su la kara kar sam ge yo re se na kap ka yong me xian da te ne zam so la zok chen se de cha chen se nga se de so xi na zangwa drop bi ni pa yo re zangwa drop se na de ne zangwa de chil xior so na ni pa chi mo yo re se ra me le zangwa de bi na de cha chil xior so wa na de ne ni pa chi mo yo re se yi na yo de ne ta xi zu ba zu ji go ne ma xi ba yi na ji ki na xian da le pen to yong gro ba de yin de ta 인지도 존 사바르 메점에 로그요 되네 되네 시조 바쪽에 대슈바레 마토 뭐네 세den체네 냠난 칭케지나 되네 달라마 똑바탄 템바 세den체 그 라마 테바탄 템바 테바도 모그 템바질라 시네 뭐 쩨네 되네 냠실랭 거고요 그래서
Whether we're studying this together or as Kimbo Rinpoche is teaching or explaining the Dharma, and we're listening to the Dharma, but there is in these days it is often maybe done more in kind of like an approach that is like study. However, in the past, especially with topics like Dzogchen, it really was only supposed to be taught in a very kind of controlled environment, if you will, and like in that the Lama who was teaching was a really qualified spiritual teacher endowed with genuine realization, and the disciple or the student was a very faithful, very devoted, very faithful student with pure view. And so and in that relationship, very sacred relationship, there then is this potential for like genuine pointing out to occur, where the qualified teacher, is able to trigger a genuine realization in the mind stream of the disciple, mainly because of the quality of the disciple's devotion, and that they were really able to see the teacher as, the Buddha in person. And then, without that, then it's very, and this was very rare. This was actually very rare. But without that, then there aren't the conditions for like direct introduction to occur. But these days, there is a lot of Dzogchen and Mahamudra literature out there that's widely available. There's a lot that has been translated into English and other languages, and everybody has access to this. So, whoever gets a hold of it is able to read it and study it. And so sometimes, Kimbo Hala was saying that, there's some question about, Dzogchen and Mahamudra are meant to be kept secret and really kind of kept in this container of, only this very sort of kind of like a really truly, qualified container with the necessary conditions. But on the other hand, because they're so widely available, these teachings are so widely available now, then there is some benefit perhaps in explaining, since people are reading these texts anyway, and explaining, some of the meanings so that there isn't like confusion that occurs. And so, but traditionally speaking, and ideally, that for one who really practices these teachings, then it really should be done in the context of a very sacred relationship between teacher and disciple, a lama with, very high realization, a student with all of the necessary qualities or characteristics, and then real, genuine introduction occurs, and then the student actually practices according to that introduction or based on that introduction.
남주 추 무지비 중원도 삽스 남주 시대인가 아 단다롱에서 남원왕시 남다지 라말 왕시 시리즈 초반 보세 베 미시 사보 렌도와 대인도 샘도네 제메 남다들 론데 추크도 버신질로 다 텔레사가지 똑좀 해봐래 텔레삽자지 되네 시좀 해봐래 너나 온도 이나래 and Nimata war Kando Doya in a Nimbo Momatana Dudio, retained Chumu Yvijundo Saps, Jim Santa Tained Namju Nasun Donde and the Sorban Debdea Migurton Kebate Hakoyat Kechembore Tained Taning the Ningon zoning as well Nimakashi Tane. 시그를 대인도 저서 시야 총한테 너나 대당 대화요 밤 대랑 시그요래 마도 근데 텔리 현다지 시그요 말에 대인도 랑기 냠내 당대화 첨보요래 냠내세한테 내가 냠슬랭 하고 집을 많이 봐 냠슬랭 약그 턴다대 하고야 돼 기체 말했어
And so, and so in any case, Khenpo Rinpoche says, he'll explain, to the best of his ability, and please also, listen to the best of your ability and as well as you can, and also keeping in mind what is said, that that actually the preliminaries are perhaps even more profound than the main practice. And so, for instance, when we read this prayer, the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence arising within the ground, and so on. So this is, actually these words are incredibly profound. There isn't anything, that is more profound than what is contained within these opening lines of this prayer. And this is, something that we read every day. So this is also what is meant here by, the preliminary being just as much or even more profound than the main practice. So all of the practice that we do, the supplications, and recitations, to have the understanding, of the meaning is so important. And so here we have a number of days together, to go over to reflect on the meaning of the profound Dharma. And then also as you practice on your own time, there's, not just like kind of the routine of practice, but really practicing in such a way that that the meaning is really understood is so important.
추잉조 근데 내가 저통 근kel론chen ramjam 세바데 다닝마이 나레 되는 가서 가주 나레 디그나를 다 용수 잡아 케밤 기부마인바 나 드바트비 강사 제발견지 인바르다 디 종몽보요레 이나 대다그나는 탐지 닝본다고 소르드샤와들 추잉조 단디 데레 데는 조 든스 저통 히야 요레 데네 테마인바다 코넥 송 몽본도와 다 정말 단도 휴대는 뭐마 땡지 휴요사 데네 몽보 휴대가 있나 고르는 거 같은데 단도나 몽보요레스
And so the teachings that Khenpo Rinpoche, or the text that Khenpo Rinpoche will be teaching from, is the Chuyingzo, or the Treasury of the Basic Space of Phenomena, although we've decided on, I think there was another way we decided to translate it, right? Chuyingzo.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The Purchase Treasury of Dharmadhatu.
Of Dharmadhatu. And this was composed by the omniscient Longchen Ravjam, who is really a very respected, renowned, very famous enlightened master who is revered throughout the Nyingma and Kagyu traditions. And he also, this particular work of his really comprises, or it's sort of like the condensed essence of all of his works. So there are actually 7 main treasuries, and this is the Chuyingzo, or the treasury of the Dharmadhatu. And then in addition to the 7 treasuries, he also, there are many, many works that he has composed.
남주 배차 시비 값서 고발랭양 펜토 전부 요사를 되는데 디코는 시바이나 가서 시람 리워스네 지카간다고 샤고는 시서야 가 람서야 가 리워스야 가르레선 되네 근데 말 시요나 고발랭양 펜토 전부 요사를 시서도 내로 추지 영지 내로 달라 서근도 근데 람 서도 가서 냠랭 냠슬램비 값서 롱게 삼소스는 이치에서 대박
wrong samso.
삼소를 이치 대박 달라 따왔어도 따와서도 되네 하고 봐 이치 받아 되네 곰바서도 단도나 사공고연나래 동반이 공나래 미타버 공나래 로또 넘버 10 공나래 단도나 로또 남진이 성대 이야기 제도르지 춘지 단도나 지름도 조그람 라서 보면 더 탐지데 곰게 농저거 다 롱게 하코 이치 네 대금백이 냠랭지 거네 름베 힌도 롱줄라 유름보지야 치절은 곰세도 아주 범자 합성도 되나 보글로서 깝까마서 곰바마이 곰바이 곰발롱도 주나 곰베 조서 곰세야데 곰바지고 말했어 곰고 그랬어 근데 곰바데 롱도 주밤 곰바데 탈침바 지초성와이나 근데 곰진 초도 주와데 들어요성네 단들나 곰세야데 곰고 그래 대인들 다 조주비 종사야데 주바사야데 맞아 몇개 주봉 추천 나와서 만들나 주바되기 곰바달라
공대
조시고를
주바간데.
주바 몇개 주봉 추천 생도 된 나와서 만들나 주바 주족 주바 여러 대다 기 곰바랑 따와라 근데 잡초치요나 너나 잡초치에서는 보글로서는 가서 종생도 nourish라고 maintain nourish support 주비기 따와가 곰바니기 조치교래서 대인들 다금 주성사야돼 근데 개체모래서
So it's also helpful or beneficial to understand these teachings in the context of these divisions of the three that we often make, for instance, the ground, the path, and the fruition, or the view, meditation, and conduct. So when we kind of break these up into separate categories, what is the ground, what is the path, what is the fruition? And so the ground is the ground being, the innate nature, the true nature of the Dharma Dhatu. And then when we are practicing at the time of the path, also likewise, this is the view. But then when we're practicing at the time of the path, which also corresponds, with meditation, then, according to our own understanding, with a mind of faith and trust in the practice, gradually we come to establish or understand the view. And then the fruition, is then when that when all of the qualities of practice develop, like the outcome. So whether we're meditating on the enlightened form of the deity, we're meditating on emptiness, we're meditating on impermanence, we're meditating on the four thoughts that turn the mind, or for instance, in the context of these Hevadra teachings, the generation and completion stage practices, through this process of developing faith or trust in the practice, gradually there is the development or understanding that arises in one's own mind stream over a long period of time of practicing. And so this is why in Tibet we often say, or it is often said, it is not actually meditation so much as it is habituation. And this is a play on words in Tibetan because the two words sound very similar. And then once habituation becomes really developed or is brought to complete fruition, or once it's really developed, then it actually becomes meditation. That's when it really becomes perfected meditation. So meditation, what we refer to as meditation, is really practice. It is, aptly termed practice or habituation. So it's a process of habituation, and then the result or the fruition is, what is really actually the meditation. And so then conduct, so view meditation and conduct. So for conduct such as the conduct or the discipline of abandoning the 10 non-virtues and so forth, this is supported also by the view or and the meditation. So it actually nourishes and supports. The conduct is what nourishes and supports the view and meditation. And so these three, the view, meditation, and conduct, likewise the ground, path, and fruition, are very important to understand.
Ndurna tawa kumba kyuba sa taso natsu tawa toko ya dan kumba kom ko ya dan kyuba hidro pagyu ko ya taso tsoma te ndurna rangi sem te chuji kur tokwa te kone chid imbare te indu namju Namo Nansi Namdaki Lama Kandon Chevayina, Tendate So Samna Korne, Loyat Kitchenbore.
And so again, with the view, meditation, and conduct, what is kind of the final goal or outcome is the realization, the stable realization of the view. So through meditation and conduct, all of these methods are meant to bring one to the recognition of the true nature of mind, to realize the Dharmakaya, the true nature of one's own mind. It is all meant to lead only to this. And so this is why, again, when we recite, or we frequently recite Namo to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the appearance and existence arisen within the ground, or arising from within the ground. And so this, as we recite this, it is important to reflect on the meaning.
Londi chuko to parhinjil lobse tatel in drivse urte drivete tene tanda hilam drivu sene yawa som chewaina tan drivin tarto kin drivute chuji ko tel ko gore.
So then as it says, please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. So this is the fruition. So the ground, the path, and the fruition, the ultimate or the perfected fruition is this, the realization of the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, the primordially unborn, completely pure mind.
Ndorna ndela yang tene shilam dresom ji ko ne hina yang cherton ye jimeba yinsa mare tende namma nansi namda de namala nansi shirhin nansi shirhin nansi shirhin ma de nansi namda da nansi shirhin de shele konen jigno shese ne luktel sagyaro
So gare the shirshing rang nangsi shirshing rang
nama
shirshing.
nansi namda se nansi tamchi yene thagba yimba ta deris de indu nanshin si bichu tamchi de yene thagba yimba re de yena yang shardiba ta nawa ta ziba tamchi shardiba teyong shene sharbam shile sharba Pukila, Hile Shavan, Yago Samarita, Injikila, in ground or from ground.
From.
Yeah. The name are Nancy Hirjins, Choban Bus, and Kamsum under the Hingil of that Sorban de Goro, Corbaton, the Nelamala, Zorban Damne, Guyi Shingai Dani, G. Componte.
It's so much so cute. So, Chipapa Lama.
And Zorbandeva, Tatatamchi, Yamnero. Then Tartuk, Yamnes do Lam Sendo, Patro. They gaps Rangi, Yichi, Yuvatella, Tawas. Detta lama la yo den yo gombatala goms tene tikaps lunga yizom dona ronso
Oh,
som
Kumtati Abokoma. So, Lam de Dampote, so the
hero
or the Lam de Chupabuba Lam Ruben.
tan chobam be bat lamro na to nyamne che goro tan nyamne tela tene lam sengdo nyamslem bat lam sengdo
Tene Dika la Rang.
rong la yichi ta lama nasi tamchi lama yimba ta tene mar ye yinur bu zo ge jen ma samju me kyarwe to ta to tsoma tawa tan dreva ko ne lama le yo den ta yo san ne rong ke semla yichi to yo bara te ba ta yichi te la tawa san do ta tawa te gumbe ge te Jun Chongwatala Gumbasakura. Tawati Yubatala, Yanchur, Somnokor, Tela Gumbain, Gomsakura. Tatika Absa Lamala Sorvandep, and Richie to Lunga Yizon Yukone, Tene Sorvandep, to do Jobayan, Tana, Sonde Guru, the Hindu, Tawa Gumba Jobasa to Nyamne, Pat Sendwat, and Lamla Kogorwa. And Tartuk in Jibute. Sentoni chiama batte, chuchi kotopa. That is Zorande. They do Dona, this number not Tawayana, and Pendoyores. Usuries, that's like
So then again, in the context of ground path fruition, and with this prayer, this supplication, where we say, for instance, the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, and when we talk about appearance and existence arising from within the ground, or arisen from the ground, so that appearance and existence actually being no different from, or being the very essence of that originally pure ultimate essence that is the ground. So this, in terms of ground, path, and fruition, is referring to the ground. And then as we say, I offer this, I offer appearance and existence arisen from the ground, or from within the ground. This offering is the path. Because the path being, the path of practice, and which leads to then like the ultimate fruition. So all are interlinked, ground, path, and fruition. But there is the basis, which is the ground. There is the path, which brings one back to recognizing that basis, that intrinsic nature. And so this section here of the prayer that is, I supplicate you, I offer, and I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the three realms. So that falls into the category of path. And then at that time, the mind that, of faith, trust, and devotion is essentially actually faith, trust, and devotion in the view. So the saying then, sublime master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable and expressible mind of the victorious ones, is referring to, that sort of faith or confidence, which is ultimately established in the view, because that is what these qualities actually represent, is the true essence of our own awareness. And so as, so there's first recognition of the view, and then as that recognition becomes accustomed through meditation, or that process of becoming accustomed to the view, habituating to the recognition, is meditation. And then as we supplicate, with body, speech, and mind, and so forth, likewise, that just as that is conduct. Conduct is also meditation. So we have this overlap in view, meditation, and conduct, and ground, path, and fruition. And then the ultimate, the outcome, ultimately, is that realization of the fundamental nature, the full fruition of that realization of Dharmakaya. So in brief, if we, as we read this prayer and kind of think about it in terms of these three, ground, path, and fruition, and view, meditation, and conduct, then he says he thinks that this will also be beneficial.
Maybe we read
Sure,
this.
okay.
Sorry. Yeah, maybe tea break.
Okay, so we tea break. So 30 minutes.
If you have time,
Oh, yeah, I will.
maybe try to.
Oh, because this isn't translated,
It's
yeah.
kind of
Okay,
straightforward.
okay.
But
That's what, we have a break, so perfect.
okay.
Thank you, everyone on Zoom. We'll resume in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
30, oh, I'm sorry, not 20, 30.
Nice to see you, Eric. Nice to see you in person.
This is kind of a funny story, I'll tell you in a second. So do you know, can you get the Chuingzo off of Amazon these days, or do you know where people can buy it?
Probably, or Tibetan Treasures.
Okay,
Tibetan Treasures is where they publish it.
okay.
Can you
I'll
hear
say
me
that.
there?
I'll say Tibetan
Treasures.com.
Treasures.
Those are the cool people.
Okay, yeah.
Richard Baggins, like connected. This is the Chakri Toku
Oh, right, okay,
Sangha.
great, thank you.
Did you forget link all Lisa's communications?
I'm just looking at them now, but it seems like it's okay. I don't know what to tell her about the sideway pages.
Well, we're not
But I'm
actually
gonna-
paying for the book itself yet.
Oh,
I can
whoops,
take
that was,
pictures of the page and send it to her. as we go.
actually, you know, James probably has a good copy. She should just connect with James.
Well, James is already being James.
Oh, what is he saying? No,
Just
it's okay.
basically talking about buying the book, this is where you can get it from.
Oh, I see, okay, that's okay, yeah,
Yeah. James will answer all the questions.
yeah. Mhm. See it, yes. Can you mute that, can you mute from the computer there?
So that Virginia's discussion isn't going on,
Oh, yes, exactly.
so everybody doesn't know her secret dharma.
Maybe until next session, yeah? Is that okay? Yeah, or I don't know, I can hear from this computer or someone can. Questions?
Kempo, can you hear me?
Very weakly.
You may be hearing it on your computer. I don't think the shrine room is set up.
I couldn't hear well, but we see. What can you do?
Yeah, I think while you're teaching, you want to leave your computer muted.
Oh,
Otherwise, you'll hear the feedback.
okay. Now, oh,
So you have to mute yourself.
okay. Someone.
Yeah, even if you're talking to Zoom participants, you don't need the mic on your laptop because you're coming through the mic on your desk.
Zoom goes through this one.
It's mute.
Now it's mute.
You should be muted. Are you muted? Yeah, you're muted. So we're good now because Drongwar is unmuted.
Okay.
It's all correctly set up.
No,
So
I
Drongwar
think
is-
James is saying something, but I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you'll need to do is have the volume on your laptop turned up, but your mic on your laptop muted when you want to take questions.
Oh,
When you're teaching, you'll want to have your laptop volume down.
Try talking again, James. Can you tell James to talk again?
James talked? No, nobody hearing. Oh, James talking now.
If you want me to say something, I can say something.
Yeah, because we wanted to see what the volume is. I'm trying to turn the volume up.
The last time I was there, the shrine room wasn't set up for people to speak through.
Okay, well, we can hear you okay now.
Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. Still waiting on the Zoom, and people here have come back to spend time with us this afternoon. I think right before we go to the text, I found a very wonderful verse that I'm proud of myself. I found this. But somehow I didn't have time to translate English, which is not, which is perfect, because then I can rely on Virginia and Eric and other excellent translators.
We can all do it together.
That's really good. So where I found these texts is from Samoyangtik. Samoyangtik is, we have 4 part of Nyingtik's Heart Essence teaching. 4 part means 2 mother texts and 2 daughter texts. And mother texts are the Heart Essence of Vimalamitra and Heart Essence of Dakini. Dakini means Yexin Soja, which is Guru Rinpoche's teaching, which taught to Yexin Soja, and he concealed these texts as a terma treasure. These texts is
Oh, cool.
oh, okay. If you have a
James
computer
has
in
a,
front of you, then it's here. So Dakini, Heart Essence of Dakini, and then we have this. Those are Bimala Mitra's writings and Guru Rinpoche's writings, mainly two writings. That's called 2 mother texts. And then we have daughter texts are written by Longchenpa himself. Each one has 2 volumes. It's called Most Essence or Quintessence of Titakini and Quintessence of Lama, which means Vimalamitra. And then Longchenpa writes another text, is Innermost Essence of Profound Quintessence, means now condensed 2-volume text that almost distillation of this whole first 11 volumes that written in a 2. So there's many texts, but there's one text that's called Hilam Jivu Ne Sarva. I don't know, we can translate this in
Making the ground path and fruition clear, or clarifying the ground path and fruition?
Ne.
Oh,
The topic or subject, maybe.
the subjects of, or the abiding of, or, yeah, the ground path and fruition, clarifying?
Maybe
Mhm.
need close to
The
Matt,
mic.
I don't know. Could be.
So clarifying the points or the topics of the ground path and fruition?
And this text was written by Longchenpa himself. There's many short texts in this collection. But this particular one is dedicated or written on this particular subject. That's what we spent this afternoon, first session, the He, ground, Lam, path, Jivu, fruit. I was searching and sort of studying this area because it's not clear. Many teachers usually don't give clear explanations on this topic, and then what's the difference between ground path fruition and view meditation conduct. And that's what I was looking for. And this text seems really clarifies a lot. So that's why today I bring here in the Tibetan, but of course Virginia will help us to translate this. First I read this verse. The whole text is a little bit long, but I don't want to bring all, but the basic space of, not, the precious treasury of Dharmadhatu, and these texts are authored by same person. That's what I want to say.
Longchen Rabacham.
Longchen Ramjam. Sometimes people call Longchen Ramjam, sometimes people call Longchenpa and Omniscient Longchenpa, and there's many other names, but those are most popular names of him. And I read Tibetan, and then we can go through this little bit of explanation, but not that difficult attacks. Here the yin yin ne lu turn yin la, tawa teni tok be rang yin la, tok be nyang la, ngang la jok ba gomba te, number me to yin me zhu tang cha, ka da la nam da wu san du ma hi, sam ju sang de, rikwa xiong chub sam, ranar ngong ne gombe, jar bo la.
So I have a rough translation here, but we can discuss and change. The ground is the true nature of the expanse. The view is the nature of realizing that essence. Resting within that realization is meditation. Completely absent of thoughts, without distraction, free of mental proliferation, completely pure like the sky is the unconditioned clear light. Beyond thought, verbal expression, or symbols, abiding with your own fundamental essence, abiding within your own fundamental essence is the king of meditations.
Mm-hmm. So you can see here, he's clear that the Xin Ying Nelo Tanyala, the Xi, speaking in English, Xi, Xivate, Nilukutan, reason that the Ranki, Xi say at the Nilu Hindu, Tela, Tanda, Tavi Tamachu Bina, to his Ronda. Rongi Nyamnanda under Tokyo Marwa, or Hesse at the Niluk Samjeri Mato, Rong Jula, Tawa Meba, Tawa Tik, Tawa Topa Mebaina, and Rong Jula, and Jargioma, Rong Julian Jarset, Rong Sem Genola, Surwatan, Tebana Yichi, Temebaina, Hesse at the Niluk, Juba Samjeri Mato, and Semge.
So first, the ground being the true nature itself, without necessarily having realized the view, without necessarily having any awareness of that true nature. So it is the abiding essence, apart from being the essence that is like the intrinsic mode of abiding, or the intrinsic essence, it hasn't been realized, it hasn't been meditated upon, the fruition has not arisen, and so it is just the ground at that time of not having been recognized. So it is there, but it isn't seen. It isn't perceived. It isn't felt. There isn't a faith or confidence or trust in it because it hasn't been it hasn't been uncovered. It hasn't been seen yet.
Tawa teni tokbi rangi zong tawa sayate teni tokba te sayate tanda hite. He looked talk batala, and the Tawa Seguris. Tawa said, that talk said, so talk batala, then Nam taught the Tibik on the talk bat, and Nam taught the Charvik on the talk bat, Hakova, Ni,
Nam Chepe topa dangrawe topa.
Nam taught and Charvik topa. Musom to talk about Jebak Topas Nasu Chukila. Intended Jepasana, inference that. And then Musom Sena, direct realization. Tini Yoris, Yena, Tandurna, Tawa said wrong Samkin Cherso. Shetan, Dreva Yoba, Higi, turned out Hakovatala.
So then the view is realizing, once that essence or that ground is realized or seen or understood, that is what we refer to then as the view, the mind or the recognition or the nature of realizing that intrinsic essence of the ground. And there are these two aspects to realization or understanding, that which is kind of inferred through, or that which has like a conceptual process present, or that which is like, kind of a conceptual understanding, and that which is free from conceptualization, or direct realization. So there are kind of these two categories of inference and direct realization. But in any case, knowing, understanding the ground, or either through inference or seeing it directly, is what we refer to as the view.
The Shetan Tawa Ninge Chibartas Chia the kitchen more tin and then Sabo Shindo the Tinding the page and the Tanda, then I Chinamba Hugo, 해당 따와니 체발이 요래때 이나 타르토 게트나 영당 이시 예르메바스 센다 영다 릭바 예르메바스 너나 요르동 요르제 요르추지 인칸 바티니 따르도 요르쟁기 이시테요 타다르tum 요르코바인도 해당 따와니 타르토 게트나 예르메바 차고 가르서는 시세야 내로 티 똥캔데 따와인데
So Gongta Ji Dang Tartu Yerme Bachagni
해당 따와니
Tawani. Ji.
예르메바 차그레스 예르메바 차스 요르요르제니 니메트 조르송마탈라 니미 세븐도간스 니미.
So it is important to make this distinction between ground and view to understand kind of the subtle distinction here, the meaning. And so there is this distinction, and yet, ultimately speaking, they are one and the same. They're an indivisibility, like basic space and primordial awareness, or subject and object. The object of the Dharma Dhatu, or the basic space of phenomena, and the subject of Dharmata, or the true nature of phenomena, sort of this division of subject and object, is actually ultimately in indivisibility. So just as ground and view are from the ultimately, or from the perspective of the ultimate truth in indivisibility, and at that kind of the final fruition is that indivisibility.
테네 똑빙옹란 적바 금바데서 따와 따위기 시하코와 팅앙라 적바텔라 테네 금바선 시교레스타 티인디캅서 론첸베기 다 금바데 족첸게 따와다 금반드라인드 넘버메토 잉미 두동난 카다 넘버 우선도 마시 삼준 송데 리과숑 접선 롱나르노네 금비잘 볼라선다 금바세야타
어디 고마서
근데지 거그래서
대참말로 okay. Gongta adeni the young the sikru jipatito gare dashikagiore deni
다나 금바세 요로
Gomba.
나 금반디가 금바데 테네 족첸게 금바데 차고로 테인데 넘버메토 봐 영화메 봐 두바단 탈바선다 근데 말 도라테 조르셔서다 대양 저땡길로 테네 가서 배자나온다나.
So then, once the view of the ground is understood, or there is the view, that understanding of the ground, then the meditation is just resting within that recognition. So as it says here, resting within that realization is meditation. And then that meditation, which is the Dzogchen meditation here that Longchen Rabjam is referring to, here is described as being completely absent of thoughts, free of or without distraction, free of mental proliferation, completely pure like the sky. It is unconditioned clear light, beyond thought, verbal expression or symbols, abiding within your own fundamental essence, is the king of meditations.
네, 다음 맞죠. 레우 하람 히바차레 나바차에서 말해. 나바차레 히바차레.
So where we did,
나바차인서로.
so it seems we have left off at we finished chapter 5? We're at 5. We're at chapter 5.
Anyone can point out. Neither.
I thought I read in the announcement that you would start on number 6, section 6.
Chapter 6. Finish?
Start.
Okay, yeah. I think that's maybe true. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's true.
What page is that on?
45. Yeah.
Oh, this says the fifth section.
Yeah. 45.
Okay.
Tene ta dige pechandala lew 죽섬 요바래. 레브 죽섬 때 시람 리브 가가 근데 체 되네 따와 금바 줘봐 가가 체바 인도 정말 레브 당번에 제바 발도 시기 내로 된 거래서
So there are 13 chapters in this text, and they kind of address individually the ground, path, and fruition, treating the view, conduct, and meditation separately. And so the first through the 8 chapters are addressing the nature of the ground, or talking about the nature of the ground. The Jebabar.
제바 발도 되네 레브 쿠바티 따와 레브 주바 곰바 되네 레브 죽직 주바 레브 중니게 리브 다 중니 주 섬터서 되네 리브 되네진 땡도스
So Gubane Chuni Chusumbar.
쿠바키 따와
Tawa. Tini Gomba
중니
Chuni
곰바
Chusumbar.
no 주바키 곰바
Okay.
죽직 리브 누나 말아 죽직 주바
Chuchik Chupa.
중니 주 섬게 리브스
Oh, Lasso. So then the 9th chapter is really dealing with or addressing or discussing the view. The 10th, meditation. The 11th, conduct. And then 12th and 13th are fruition. Ribe. 12 and 13 are fruition.
전에 다시 람 리버존드 제와 인도 람게 값을 탄다 따와 공부 줘봐 좀람 람게나운드 두고도 람게나운드 두 인도 레고 공부 줘봐 죽직도 람 당번에 제바 발도 시 전에 윤이 주섬 인게 리버체네 다시 람제 섬 세난데 따금 주섬 세나 소만디 나운드고래
So then so in ground path fruition, so then the path is like, so 9, 10, and 11. So 9, 10, and 11 also fall into the category of path. So 1st through 8 is ground, and then 12 and 13 fruition. So meaning that even though, like, from the view, meditation, and conduct, 9 is the view, 10 is meditation, 11 is conduct, all those comprise the path. And then 12 and 13 is the fruition. And 1 through 8 is the ground.
이나요. 근데 인지면이 투투 매바이나 고네 로고야 당 인지면이 고네 말냠나 제거 같은데 믹스요 말드네 금발아 도노치네 검잡 같잖아 안 레우주바테 오난데거래 대신도 따와하고 같잖아 안 주바기 ndegdoa juba mari kubak tein tendre chene longnan de gore inje meni ngone malo te yo mari.
However, it isn't that you have to think of it that like that this should be, that the text should be read, from front to back, sort of in the sense of, it doesn't have to go in progressive order. You don't like necessarily have to read it in that way, according to, what you are focusing on at that time. You can turn to that section of the book and read that. Like, so for instance, if you're wishing to meditate and focus on the meditation, you can read the 10th chapter. Or if you're wanting to understand the view, or thinking about and analyzing the view, wanting to understand the view, you can go to the 9th chapter. And so it doesn't have to be read in progressive order. It can be kind of approached more in wherever it is, you can pick up, at whatever stage in the book.
A few weeks ago, one group of Dharma Center requests me to teach chapter 10, and we spent a few days on chapter 10. If you like to read chapter 10, would be good. I think most of you already get the oral transmission from me or others, so it doesn't really matter if you
So you
read,
can read it.
chapter 1, 2, 3, or 10. But since we are here, start from chapter 1, so we are now in chapter 6, which means we spend a lot of time on the first 5 chapters, and now still we are in chapter 5. Now starting chapter 6, still in the ground. Now we know ground is the reality, Dharma Dhatu, if you want to call, or the ground, or the emptiness, or we see sometimes it's called the union of primordial purity and spontaneous present, or kind of a union of emptiness and clear light or luminosity. So either way is good. He said 되게 가르친 거에서는 그래서 남만나시 남다지 남만나시 hirings 나시 담치데 현의 행용을 있어. 현의 야랑용 현의 샤용을 있어. 현의 마토단 로사용 말했어. 해서야데 내룩 된레라 나시 담치 안도나 샤사기 때와다부터 대차버렸어.
Nangsi namda.
Nancy hirings. Hirings said, Hing said, Hiesak Segra, honorific term, Parki Lamna long servangazo. Yar long sendo. English Hanam rise, risen, manifest. Then the thing also that Momboch done the Injinalam methods emerge and arise and manifest, appear to Momboch page
So again, with this talk of the ground, when we say appearance and existence arising from the ground, or risen from the ground, rising up from the ground. So there's no place other than the ground from which all phenomena or all appearance and existence emerges or arises. And there is no place for it to go other than the ground. It is within the ground. This is the meaning, the ground being the meaning of the ultimate nature, the ultimate truth. And so the utter purity, appearance and existence, being utterly pure, arises, from within or from the ground itself. It is the same nature, essence of the ground itself. And so this verb in Tibetan, shir shing, right? Shir, or shing, shir is ground and shing is the verb. And the verb actually is an honorific term. So it means to like rise up or to rise or manifest. In English, the English language, we use different words as translation: emerge, arise, manifest, appear. But it is an honorific term.
Tene Phuket project 진동 라. 현다 냠도 난데 저런 집어도나 인지도.
Oh, okay. So Kimbo Rinpoche will read it read the text in Tibetan, and then if you have the text, we can read each section together.
님매님 보남드바 다래 죽은 자와의 정조 샘선드 노시노이 주 마단 주와요 공용된던 니비인다 시메르 샘진온드 주니야로 용바진봉 조동만 조맹동대바란드.
So are we at the bottom of page 45 in the English?
Correct.
Okay. Just as all light is subsumed within the sun as its source, all phenomena are subsumed within awakened mind as their source. Even the impurity and confusion in the universe of appearances and possibilities, whatever occurs by examining basic space as its matrix and abode, you find that it has no foundation, but is subsumed within the timeless freedom of mind. Beyond labels and their meanings, confusion and its absence are subsumed within the true nature of phenomena, the timeless expanse, a supremely spacious state.
다 딩엘라 소르 샤르서 당 딩앙은 두서야지 너나 소르 샤르 용어제다 딩앙을 내대밤 갑갑 딩앙 파드은로와 나는 두대바 니코공도 딩두 난시 탐치데 현의 샤르 양와 레테 이나 Shili yo mara yusana stray from the ground, right? Shini yo meva de karat dengoresana tingon do the ores soma and do the ores ti dengdo. Tininga so chikina lew really sandwa. Tapena lew tangbo ravajina. Kunde yingli mayu berang yit embas kurbata nyangalan de bichu tamji de yingli yu mares tetengores yina lewni be gaps nansi henkams sharwat embas sharasena de hengsena tangenga so shirhings de sharwatan hingwata tendaji gwara ana nansi tamji henkams sharwat 대형 샤르사 대형 현이 샤르마다 고고를 소샤라트 시근도 근데 레브슨베 값 현첩 삼진 천배 엠바스 현첩 삼세야데 아주 리베잔 디 값 담지 정축 삼레 송로 대인도 희세야 현축 삼레서 대인 손배 된 그래서 손배 빼게 된 그래서 le hivi gaps hyangchop sem ji rang hin den ba sam da hyangchop sem de hi ji di rang yi den gres te da ge hyangchop ge sem te zurub jun de len de ba den ba sam da Then not to live to pick up so Tamchi Hongchup Samson do but then Basel. Sharwa down do bar. And the Sharas do Tsor Shini Tsor Lebian Tower. Do se do Hingang la Tamjin do deva. Shar David up saying and Hill Pa Hill you meva. That thing to my you but then Bason and level. Level Tangbook of England, my you but then Bason. He not in the Inchita. George not the in the round of injury. They just on that. And not Sharion Wadang do the Vating Gavgamats oscillations in oscillations and knock up saying as a visualization, the dissolution, your Tinda party. Draw what on to us and draw the Sene knock ups and as a Gidam the Zongram Tindy cups, draw the tower, your tender oscillation there. Here the draw you want on seeing on the part time draw that Coco is.
So here, so what is sort of being suggested here is that, so we have this radiating out or this arising from the ground, this manifesting from the ground, and we also have this kind of gathering back. So everything arises or manifests, and at the same time, everything is included within or subsumed within the ground. And there's, at times, sort of this shining forth or this manifesting, and at times this gathering back or becoming subsumed. And yet, throughout all of this, there is never any wavering from the ground that ever occurs at any point in time. So appearance and existence, as it manifests, as it dissolves back, it is always never wavering from the ground itself. It is always subsumed within the ground as it manifests. And so in the Tsindangpo, okay, so maybe it's in the so in the first chapter. So we have the different chapters. So the first chapter, which is samsara and nirvana by nature do not stray from basic space. So this is here, that all samsara, the phenomena of samsara and nirvana never stray from the ground itself. Second, the universe of appearances and possibilities are these arisings are arising as a pure realm. So this is also corresponds with the appearance and existence in the prayer arising from or arise or manifest from the ground. Meaning that all appearance and existence is the nature of purity. It's like a pure, it manifests as a pure Buddha field or pure realm. And those the manifestations are pure manifestations. Third is presenting the metaphors for awakened mind or bodhicitta. So here, actually, the ground itself is awakened mind, or in Tibetan, Jangchu Gisim, which is also translated as bodhicitta. This is these are the metaphors for this awakened mind in chapter 3, and then chapter 4 is demonstrating the nature of the awakened mind. Explaining or showing how it is the nature of awakened mind or bodhicitta. 5 is the transcendence of effort and achievement and cause and effect. And then 6 is the demonstrating how everything is subsumed within the awakened mind, or the all-inclusive awakened mind. And so everything that, and this is what we're speaking to here, that all phenomena manifest from within the ground. It also is subsumed. All appearance that appears and exists, or appearances and possibilities, are also subsumed within the ground. And even as they shine forth, they never waver from the ground, which is also what is shown or demonstrated in chapter 1. And so actually chapter 1 and chapter 6 in English might appear, in some ways they're very, very similar. But this also corresponds with, for instance, the shining forth and gathering back. So at times there's this, what Khenpo Rinpoche actually referred to in English as oscillation. So in Tantra, we have also the visualization and dissolution, or the generation stage and completion stage, which also corresponds with this shining forth and this gathering back, or being subsumed within. So that this oscillation. Also in the generation stage, there are, what we are familiar with, the emanating out, or the shining forth, and the gathering back in. So it is from the ground that this emanating out occurs, and into the ground that this gathering back, that it is gathered back or subsumed. And so there's this oscillation, all the while there's never any straying from the ground or wavering from the ground.
Nancy no chu saya da tinala mandube ngopoji yomarwa nge tanda ngaso peche non do Nancy no chu madan truayon konyung tan nebi ying tawes
Oh.
Tikina me inji line
I wish I could see the Tibetan at the same time. Yeah. On page 44.
Even the impurity and confusion in the universe of appearances and possibility, whatever occurs. That is a tampi de Kandri Chung Yona, Kan Chung Ne Tang Yi Nibi Ying Tabis, Kani Chung Do, Kana Nen Do, Tidauge, Ne Sorte, Dakchi Kidus, Kibe, Shime Yedru Semjing on to do some Hietang Zawa Meba, Rangi, Simni Kibutel, doing dogs, and Orna, Kurvata Yangan Deva Ningat, Rangi Semtele. Do your yes.
So this is very important. So all appearances and possibilities, the like outer container, or the universe and its inner inhabitants, there is nothing that is not included within this, like in terms of phenomena. So even the impurity and confusion of the universe, of appearances and possibilities, whatever occurs, by examining basic space as its matrix and abode, you find that it has no foundation, but is subsumed within the timeless freedom of mind. So all appearances and possibilities, when we reflect, from where do they arise? How do they abide, or where do they go, and where do they go? If we investigate or examine, then we find that there is no root, there's no foundation other than the mind itself, the timeless freedom of the mind itself, as it is said here. So all of samsara and nirvana, both samsara and nirvana, are products of nothing other than the mind itself. They arise from the mind and are subsumed within the mind, the essence of the mind.
대인들 당그러와 알라 네베 값서 치료나 요르진도 나오는 셈지유 잠비티게 안sur바테 요라 이나야 삼노지 도나가서 밀람세야데 민베 값서 밀람게 나와라 요르다 요르종 르라와 강바다 켐라서와 너는 몸보지 미야여로 나야서는 미야여로 이나 대다 담지 대랑게 셈 지보레 마도 칠로 뭐니 요말바 대다르더 나서 단다 니 세베 값이 나왔는데요 얘는 말람지 나와나시 티하고야 그치도 안다나 somare.
So while we experience samsara or abide within samsara, then it seems as though there are outer objects. There is an inwardly apprehending mind. We feel this is our experience. But if we investigate, if we really think about it, it's really not any different from our experience of dreaming. So when we dream, when we have dreams, and there are all sorts of things or phenomena that appears in our dreams, there's like the place, the environment that we have, are in the dream. There are houses, there are the people, or maybe family. All sorts of things might appear in our dreams, and during the time of dreaming, we very well might take them to be real. But where they're actually just coming, there's no external reality to them. It's all happening within our own mind. There isn't anything actually outside. And then when we wake up from the dream, we realize that this was all just in our mind. And it is the same way with the phenomena or appearances that we experience in the waking state. Like when we wake up from this delusion, we see that it's all just a product of mind.
되게 kurwa mada bichu sayate kani chungare sana nona hime barang sem simnil du yores te tembare tene ta kurwa la tuni nyangel deba sayaje yorwa nyangel deba te karar sana dene ma rambeshinda tene sumyo.
So then, how is it then that there is either the impure phenomena of samsara that is actually just, none other than the, phenomena of one's own mind, or is subsumed within the mind? And then how does it go from samsara to nirvana? And so then this goes, into greater detail here and explanation with respect to this.
ra me baran non sin kun de kun de jong jo san ning ka yin do dong san du ma shi do ne rong yong yong ba yin.
Even the marvelous display of awareness's own pure manifestations, the Kaya's pure realm's timeless awareness and enlightened activities, is subsumed within the naturally occurring state that is not made or unmade. Awakened mind subsumes the universe of appearances and possibilities, all of samsara and nirvana. Lucid and uncompounded, it can be compared to the sun shining in the empty sky. Occurring primordially and naturally, it is a spacious, timeless expanse.
남주 nga zong kurwa saya ze pangsha nyangelen de ba saya de langsha tene kurndini le tembe panglang redo kado saya ta mombuch samla namto shargo tan di kapso dorna kurwa da nyangelen de ba nigat rang simni hitsa tang charwa lan du yu ba indu ene panglang kakrup tang charwa te hakoko goyores la nelo momat tereso nelo sena hil kosma hinde ta hignelo tereres.
So ordinarily, we have these ideas of, samsara is to be the thing to be abandoned, and nirvana is the thing to be accomplished, or there is, with regard to samsara and nirvana, there is what is to be avoided or abandoned, and there's what is to be taken up or pursued. There is, hope and fear or expectation and doubt with regard to these two, samsara and nirvana. But both samsara and nirvana are just the empty manifestations of the mind itself. Apart from mind's essence, there is no basis, there is no root. It is free from, root or basis, both the phenomena of samsara and nirvana. And so actually the true nature itself is completely free of these dualistic designations. It is just the true nature of the ground.
Di kapso dorna under page 47. Awakened mind subsumes the universe of appearances and possibilities, all of samsara and nirvana. Dorna zibi kurwa da nyangelen de bi chu tamchi de shangchup ji samam rangki simni devar shikbi nyingbo shangchup ji samtela ndugi yores perna nima yona ta nimegi gerla wu tamchi nduba darto wu tamchi nima yoba darto nima nduba da nyingka hindu sonda jikina nyedang kaadi 남주이나 카스도 동바 들코고로 축 니스도 니마 들코고로 아니 니마 남기경을 샤르용도 우테 니마니 샤르고로 니마라 요르와 얘나 때 샤르사테 남gelon 동바 니 샤르고로 대인도 우다 남칸이데 이르체 타고 예와체 타고 말했어. 예매 받다 달도 bom바다 서바니데 예와메바. 에는 두마시바. 대인도 됐다고 눈에 랑종인바 마도 현다见的 줄라 마토베 됐다고 양바 인상다 자침부레서 예롱양바.
So this, all appearances and possibilities, all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana is occurring primordially, naturally, as the phenomena or display of the essence of the mind itself, as the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha. For the example that is given is that of sunshine in the empty sky. So as the sun shines and their light rays, or the space becomes illuminated, the sky becomes illuminated, but we can't separate really the light and the space or the sky. They are kind of indivisible. They're really one in the same nature. The sky, the space itself, is empty, or what we might refer to as Dharmakaya. The light, the sunlight that pervades, is also not separate from, you cannot separate it from the empty space itself. It pervades the empty space, but it is one and the same kind of in its essence. The radiance and space, or the sky, are really indivisible. You can't separate the two. And so it is the same way with the essence of the mind itself, and the phenomena that manifests, or appearances and possibilities. They are not separate entities. It is uncompounded and self-arisen. There is nothing that is not self-arisen, and it is not dependent upon conditions. Is not based on conditions kind of coming together or relying upon one another.
인다 희생나용 치료 다른 거지를 삼나 동지요 말스 롱롱스 샘기 심니 테랑라 삼나당 데네 테르 이치 고요레 테 하고고레 테 또고고레 테라 공고고레 테인데 니 케침보레 단다다 저쪽에 네 건다 처음 조명도 좋아요나 나로치스.
And so we can think about this in a way that isn't like kind of some like a distant thing or something that's far away or outside of us, but really relating to it in terms of the experience of our own mind, the true essence of our own awareness, our own mind, in a way that inspires a sense of trust or confidence or faith. So it has to be realized in that way. That's how it is realized directly, and this is really important. Now we've come to the end of our time for this session. And then in the evening, when we resume, then we can have some time for some questions and answers. Or if you have questions, you can ask them at that time. So we'll do the short dedication on page 24 of the prayer book. The bottom of the page. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Okay, thank you, Kenrambuchi. Thank you, everybody. So see you 7 o'clock.
Yeah. See you at 7 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. Actually, no, everybody's going. There's an incredibly long question in Spanish.